I'm Lindsay Rigoli. I'm a missionary with the Digital Campus. Welcome to Level Up, a monthly live online event powered by Focus Equips. Level Up is designed to help you take your evangelization to the next level. We are currently broadcasting live to students all around the country, so thank you for tuning in. You can participate by tweeting in your questions with hashtag LevelUpQ. If you're watching on Google+, you can submit your questions through the question and answer feature on the side of your screen. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our host of tonight's event. He's been a missionary with Focus for 6 years. He is currently serving as the team director of the Digital Campus. Here is Jonathan Texera.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. I'm very glad to be here with all of you tonight, live tuning in around the globe, and also watching the recording on YouTube after the fact. So thank you. Like Lindsay said, we are broadcasting live from Focus headquarters outside of Denver, Colorado, and broadcasting to all of you out there all over the place. So this is fantastic. This is a brand new event that we're doing, online live event. We're going to help you get to the next level in your evangelization by going after one topic at a time and helping you nail it. So as we go through today, remember, please ask questions. We're doing it live online, so it can be an interactive kind of thing. So if you got questions, you see it right here at the bottom. You got questions, you can ask it right on Google Plus with the Q&A. It's right on the side of the video. And or if you're not watching, if you're watching on YouTube, you can tweet your questions using hashtag LevelUpQ. And we'll use that during the Q&A portion tonight. So we're going to get right to it, right? We're not going to waste any time talking about time management. So the situation a lot of us find ourselves in is we have so much to do and never enough time to do it. There's always a good thing we can choose to do, but how do we pick the great things? How do we make enough time available to do the great things, to do that, to live out that greatness to which we're called? Well, it comes down to the art of time management. We have so much to do. You know, there's the tennis team and the racquetball club and this underwater hockey club, and then you're on 2 intramural sports. You got all sorts of things. Maybe you get tours on campus, and then you got to go to class. And if you're doing all that and trying to lead a Bible study, trying to reach out to people on campus, if you're doing all this, it can be tough. So tough to do everything, juggle all those things. How do we do it? Well, tonight, we're hoping to help you out. And so we have this situation, this feeling in our culture. Everybody's feeling, you know, we've got phrases about this, you know, that there's so much to do. There's never enough time. And sometimes we have that feeling that, you know, we have that phrase to say, you know what? I'm going to sleep when I'm dead. That's big, right? Sleep when I'm dead. That's the big idea, that we can't get enough done. There's never enough time. But there is time. We just got to know what to spend it on. So we know the situation. We're really busy. We're hectic. We're overburdened. What do we do? And when I get into a situation like this, I know where I am. I want to know where God is. I want to know what God says about this. So we're just going to hop in the scriptures really quick. So first I want to look at Ephesians. So Ephesians 5:15-16 says, "Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise men, but as wise, making the most of the time, because the days are evil." I just want to focus in on the bold part right here, making the most of the time. Paul's writing this to the church in Ephesus, and he's imploring them, you know, there's all these good things we can do. Please, make the most of your time here on earth by doing all the good stuff. Don't waste your time on the bad stuff. Don't waste your time sinning. Just do the good stuff. Use your time well. And this is a big thing for him. This wasn't just to them. When he writes to the Colossians, he says the same thing, pretty much. When he writes to them, he says, can you reverse that, Jim? Right upstairs where it says lower third. Keep going up under the blue stripe. Nope. Thank you. So it says, conduct yourselves. I had a little technical difficulty. It says, conduct yourselves wisely towards outsiders, making the most of your time. There it is again, pretty much the same phrase. Making the most of your time. This time it's your time. It was the time, that was your time. Making the most of your time. You've got only a limited amount here. 80 years maybe. How are you going to use it? You're going to use it well? I hope so. And I hope that tonight we can help you do that too. And then, just one more look at Scripture, kind of why this is a big deal. Let's look at Galatians. It says, do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. And let us not grow weary in well-doing. For in the... It's flipped on my screen. Sorry. And let us not grow weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not lose heart. So again, these people are being told, we are being told in the Scriptures, keep that up, that we are being told, use your time well, because what you sow, you will reap. If you sow laziness now, later in your life, you will reap laziness. If you sow missed opportunities now, you will reap missed opportunities later. So it's very important that we get our ducks in a row, our eggs in the right basket, all those things. It's important to do that now. Because if you don't, you're going to feel the consequence, not just now, but later on in the future. So this is what God has to say. He has all this great wisdom He's given us. And so we've seen that, yes, God wants us to use our time well. And it's important to do that, because he's not just concerned about us now, He's concerned about us later. And so He wants us this whole lifetime, He's got a plan for us, a plan for well-being and hope, all these good things. And so part of knowing what we're doing in guiding us is knowing how to use the time well. So we can do all the good things we want to do, all the great things we're called to do, and also all the things we have to do. So we're going to do it all, and tonight we're going to show you how to do that. So we're moving on in. This is a tool called the 4 quadrants. This was made popular by Stephen Covey in the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And so just a quadrant, like you might know, 3 or 4 spots. And so you see the axes on here. Across the top is important and not important. So that's the importance line. And then coming up the side here, we've got urgent and not urgent. So we're going to see how these things play in, right? So let's look at quadrant number 1. So this is quadrant number 1. This is where crises and emergencies fall in, right? Because they're very important and they're very urgent. So these things have to be done right now. So let's look. What's an example of something that falls in Q1 is an assignment that's due tomorrow. Heck, an assignment that's due today. An assignment that's due in an hour, and I'm on page 1. This needs to be done right now. It doesn't matter if you've got laundry to do, if your friends want to hang out, if that show is on. Everything drops so you can get this done. You have to do it no matter what. So if you think about an image, think about a person for this quadrant. Think about the firefighter. He's always running around putting out fires. There's that. Oh, there's a fire over there. That takes my attention, right? Another phrase people like to use is the tyranny of the urgent. Always got to do what's just about to come. And so as you can probably imagine, as you might even experience, this is very stressful, very burdensome. There's always something that has to be done, and it's down to the wire. And am I going to get it done? I'm probably not going to get it done as good as I could. And so this is not a good place to be. We end up here sometimes because we let things get there. Because, right, I didn't do that assignment a week ago when it was assigned. I didn't, change the oil when I should have, and now the oil light's on, I'm getting towed into town. All that stuff, right? So we can avoid this. We can avoid being the firefighter. That's what we want to do by trying to live in Q2. So this is planning, this is preparing, this is improving. This is where you want to spend the majority of your time. And so you want to think about a person for this. I like to think of, I don't know, I just like to think of the peaceful warrior. So this is a guy, he knows what he's doing, right? Maybe you think about like some movie, some action movie, wherever, or usually the main characters, they just like walk through the whole crowd of people fighting, and they're just like, they know where their target is, and they're going after it. It's usually in slow-mo. They know what they're doing, they're just slicing down people left and right to get to their target. And they're not that worried, they're just determined. And this is the peaceful warrior. This is who you want to be. Who doesn't want to be peaceful? And who doesn't want to be a warrior, kicking things butts? Like, that's awesome. And so some examples of stuff that would fall into Q2 are that oil change when you're supposed to get it. You can think, oh yeah, I'm coming up on 5,000 miles. I guess I'll make sure I do that on Saturday. Instead of, oh crap, the car won't move. I'm about to ruin my engine. Also, exercising. This is improving the body, right? If we exercise regularly, we do all that, then we don't have to get to Q1 of a heart attack. We don't have to be faced with this huge event in our lives where we have to take action. We can just plan along the way and take the action as necessary. Also, most assignments, work, this is Bible study, planning, Bible study, all this stuff. Everything that you want to do, things that you are supposed to do, this happens in Q2. It's planned out ahead of time. You know when it's going to happen. You're just planning for it. You're preparing for it. You are improving upon something in you. Also, catching up with the fam. So, it's not, you're not desperately in debt, out of money. You got to call dad and you haven't talked to him for a year. Or it's the day after mom's birthday, and you're catching up and having to make excuses and build bridges back and all these things. You're just doing it already. You're just catching up with people, investing in relationships. You're improving a relationship so you don't get to that point where you need to do damage control, right? It's getting flowers for your girlfriend just because you like her instead of that time when you screw up and now you got to get the flowers. So this is where you want to be, the peaceful warrior. Planning, preparing, improving. This is where you want to do it. So all this is scheduled out. We'll get to that later in the tips section. But this is all scheduled out. You know when you're going to do it before you do it. It's peaceful. It's planned. Good. What about these other two boxes? Let's look at Q3. So quadrant 3 is the interruptions. As you see, these things are not urgent, and but they are. We think that they're important. There's the important. Okay. So Q1 was very important things and very urgent things. We got to get it done, and we got to get it done now. Q2, very urgent, not so important right now, but they're also very urgent. No, oh no, I think I did my labels wrong. Whoops. Oh well, forget that. Don't look at the labels. Let's just go forward. It's between you and me. I don't think anybody else watching knows. Okay. Great. Okay, so here we go. Q3. These are things that are urgent but not important. So we'll have to switch those around. Anyway, these are things we think are coming up and coming up soon. This is, examples are a ringing phone, text messages, most emails. These are things when you're working on something, when you're doing your Q2, when you're working on that assignment early, when you're doing what you said you were going to do at the time. These come and try to knock you off of the. So you got that phone ringing when you said, I'm going to be writing that paper from 4 to 5, and then the phone rings. Oh, it's my friend. It's probably not that big a deal, but I'm going to answer it anyway. And then 25 minutes later, you got to get back to your paper, and what do you have to show for it? You got the text message coming in, interrupting you when you're reading, trying to bring all these things in your mind. Even in prayer, right? You have this time set aside for prayer, but the phone rings, you get a text. I feel the buzz in my pocket. Just a second, Jesus. Let me check it out. and then you're texting, and then maybe you check, no, now you're on Facebook, all this stuff. Oh my gosh, that interruption just totally took me off the tracks. So these are interruptions. You want to avoid these things. A lot of these things have a place, right? Email is good, text messages are good, talking on the phone is good, but you got to make sure they're not interruptions. Q4, these are, the person to think about in Q3 is, think about like, I thought the guy he was always like, ooh, just a second, let me check. Ooh, just a second, I got it. Always just a second. Also, maybe, I don't know if this reference will work, but he's like, talk to the hand, because I'm too busy. I don't know if people say talk to the hand, but talk to the hand. Anyway, Q4, this is just time wasters. This is just junk. What goes in Q4? Things that aren't urgent, aren't important. You don't really need to do it. You certainly don't need to do it right now. But this is where a lot of people spend time. Doing things like surfing the internet, watching too much TV, this trivial busy work, You see that link on Facebook and it says, 53 reasons I loved being a kid in the 90s, or best soda commercials, or whatever. And I want to click on that because it sounds interesting. It sounds fun. I mean, I was a kid in the 90s. I want to remember that. But it doesn't do anything for me, especially if I'm trying to do something else. And so, man, I'm going on a limb here, but probably most of the time on Facebook is Q4. And I know I'll tell myself, I go, oh yeah, I need to tell that guy something. And I know he doesn't check his email, but he's always checking his Facebook, so I'm going to message him through Facebook. I get on Facebook, but by the time I drag the cursor up to the corner to hit messages, I'm checking out people's pictures, I've clicked on 8 links. Oh man, and then I go, what am I doing? I gotta get out of here. I close the browser, and I never message them. I never do what I was gonna do. So we gotta be real careful about this. So time wasters. A lot of these things that are time wasters, though, getting on Facebook, watching TV, things like that, they're good. They're not bad things. They're not evil things. They're actually kind of just neutral stuff. And so we just gotta use them right. So maybe it's 20 minutes of Facebook. I'm gonna set a timer, or I'm gonna watch 1 episode of 24 tonight to unwind, instead of watching 8 episodes in one night, because it's that good. And I gotta watch the next one. That's Q4. We let it take over, and we're just wasting our time. And I was thinking of what person would it personify this? What kind of cute thing would this be, right? We got the firefighter, the peaceful warrior, the talks of the hand, not too busy. And all I could think of was the time-wasting bum. There's nothing that's that great here. It's just wasting your time. And so, especially if you do it in excess. So think about it. Think about the old food pyramid with the coming up to the top. The top was sweets and salt, sugar and salt. Use sparingly. So that's what we got to do with Q4. Use sparingly. I mean, I love sweets and salt. I love salty sweets. But I can't eat them all day, or I'm gonna be a huge guy. I'm gonna die early. And so we gotta use them sparingly. Just with Q4. I love watching 24. I love watching movies. If I watch 2 movies in a season of 24 every weekend, if I watch all this stuff, I'm just sitting there in front of the tube like this. What am I gonna become? What am I gonna be? I'm not gonna get anything done. I'm not gonna enrich myself. I'm not gonna really turn out too much. I'm gonna be like mentally, spiritually big gut. And that's not what we want to do. Use sparingly. We want to focus on Q2 so we can avoid things turning into Q1. We got to make sure we guard our time by avoiding the interruptions. And of course, using that Q4 sparingly. So this is kind of, this whole thing, this great thing is just the lens through which to view time management. This is the background information, how to organize time, how to see what you're doing. But now, what good is theory without some practical? So we're getting into practical tips. And remember, again, if you've got questions, here we go. Questions, right? If you're watching on Google+, you can just type it right on in there. It should be on the side of the screen, side of the video. Just type in your question, and you can tweet it, and we use hashtag #LevelUpQ for level up question. And then we'll get to your questions in a little bit. So remember, send those in. So, all right, so I'm gonna give you some practical tips for how to do this. And this is like tip 0. This isn't even on the list of tips, but I wanted to share with you. This is this important. It's tip 0, the foundational tip. Just to say it again, live in Q2. Plan what you're gonna do, and then do it. Don't let things distract you. If you can do that, then you can really avoid those emergencies, those crises that pop up, force you into the tyranny of the urgent in Q1. So that's fundamental. I just want to say it again. Live in Q2. So, what's a great tip? I got a tip for you. How about this? This is a great tip to start out trying to manage your time well. Keep a time log. So, time log, what is that? Well, it's just like, think about if you're going on a diet. If you want to know what to eat and what to not eat, and how all this stuff, you need to know where you're starting from. How much? Oh my! I ate 8 donuts yesterday. That's what it was for. Same thing with our time thing. I only spent, I don't know, I might just do 20 minutes on Facebook a day. You take stock of what you're doing. You actually write it down. You might find out you're doing like 2 hours on Facebook. You spent an hour and a half eating lunch. All these things that aren't that you can kind of trim up. And so, so this is just, you got a blank calendar, a blank schedule, and you just fill in. You can do stop every hour and do what you did. If you need it to be even more focused, you can stop every half hour, and you can do it every 2 hours, whatever's going to make you do it. And so we're going to be posting this video online tomorrow. There's going to be the corrected quadrants. There's going to be also a link to a time log that you can download and just fill out yourself. So that'll be up tomorrow. That's October 9th on the Level Up website, focusclip.org/levelup. So that's where you can get your time log. But really, it's just this idea, whether you use our form or not, just this idea of knowing what you're doing, taking a baseline. How are you using your time? That's the time log. Once you kind of get a handle on what you're doing with your time, then you got to know what you want to do with your time, what you plan to do with your time. So this is like the schedule. So you want to do a schedule. And if you're doing it on paper, it's the next tip. All right. If you want to do, if you're doing paper, if you're doing the phone, Google Calendar, whatever you want, make sure they're all the same. I use a paper calendar. I use an electronic calendar, and it's all synced. The electronic one goes automatically everywhere, and then if I add something on the phone, I add it to my paper. So I just want to know what's going on. So it's important to schedule your time. If you have more than one place you keep your schedule, make sure it's synced up. So if you got a phone, you can just put your schedule right in there. Built-in apps, you can have it sync across stuff. Google's really good with that. You can have it show up on your computer, show up on your phone, show up everywhere. And if you want, keep the paper one, just make sure you write it down, or just do the paper one. You know, this is what all you do. You look through what you have to do that week. You look at your assignments that are going to be due, the reading you need to do, Bible study you need to prep, the prayer time you want to have, just everything you want to do. And then you just find a place for it. So you got to remember, you got to put in your classes, you got to put in lunch, you got to put in time to walk there, all that stuff. Make sure you schedule your time. You got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's not going to work. If you fail a plan, you plan to fail. So that's the big thing. Remember that. You got to have a plan. The schedule is your plan. Keeping it synced up makes you know plan at all times. So after this, a good thing to think about with the schedule, keeping a to-do list. Some people might just want to start at the to-do list. If that's your style, all right. But make sure you schedule the to-dos. I can make a to-do list as tall as I am, but if I don't know when I'm going to do that item, it's not getting done. I can have a to-do list of 3 items. And if I don't know when I'm going to do it, not one of those is getting done. So it's important to schedule the to-dos. And if it's like email Dad, email Tim, email Sally, you can just put a block in your schedule, 20 minutes, email. You don't have to write in every single thing, but if there's big categories, bam, throw in an email section, throw in a study section. And I'm going to study economics here, I'm going to study physics there, I'm going to study English there. So just have a to-do, but make sure it's part of a schedule too, so you know when it's going to happen. Next tip for you, study like it's your job. Now this might or might not jive with your schedule or when your brain is most active, but I want to throw it out at you anyway. This really helped me out if I was not very good at studying and managing my time. Then I met somebody and she taught me this principle. This is how she did her time. She thought, well, I guess my main job right now is going to school. And if I was at a job, I'd probably show up around 9 and go home around 5. So if I'm not in class, I'm going to be studying that. She took going to school like it was her job. Now, you might have a job that actually is in those hours. You might have club meetings in those hours, things like that. But the main idea is you have a huge chunk of time to devote to school. And I'll tell you what, this girl worked on assignments a week in advance because she had so much time. She was so caught up. She had plenty of time to write papers, to do homework, to do reading. And at the end of the day, at 5 o'clock, or right before dinner, she'd go to dinner and do whatever she wanted the rest of the night. And once I did that, it was amazing. I could then go to dinner and do whatever I want the rest of the night. When everybody's asking, oh, you want to hang out? Do you want to play this video game? Do you want to see this movie? Do you want to go to this concert? Yeah, of course I do. And I don't have to say, no, I got to work on this paper. No, I got this reading for tomorrow. All of a sudden, it's already done. And just blocking out a big chunk of time. So if it's 9 to 5, great. If it's 7 to 3, great. If it's noon to 8, whatever you want, whatever, you can make your own hours, right? This is a good job. And so it's just a great tip. You have a ton of time, and then when you're working, you're working. When you're playing, you're playing. And you don't have to worry about like you're playing Mario Kart and you're shooting the shell, and man, I shouldn't be shooting this shell. I should be working on my paper. You don't have to think that. You just think, I'm gonna get this guy off the shell. And so that could be helpful. Also, especially if you're doing big blocks of time working, you gotta take breaks. So whatever you're doing, next tip is take a brain break. You're gonna need it. It's gonna vary from person to person how long you can be focused in on a task, doing one thing real hard, hitting it heavy. Some people, it's all over the place, but I read that average time is 45 minutes. So work real hard, work real diligent, just sit and do your reading, sit and write, whatever it is. Sit and prep your Bible study for 45 minutes. And after that, take a break. Walk around, maybe go downstairs in the library, get a drink from the vending machine, from the soda fountain or water fountain, whatever it is. Maybe just take a break and relax. Draw a doodle, whatever you want. Just give yourself a break. Even just get up and look far away from the screen, just to help your eyes not get tired, help your brain not get tired. You get up and walk, do a lap around the library. I don't know, just get so your body's not so tired. And then when you get back in, you're just gonna be able to focus again, be able to get into what you're trying. So just take a break. You at the beginning, if you're really set on this stuff, you might feel like, what? That's 15 minutes I could be working. No. You need the break so you can keep working. All right? Next tip, eliminate distractions, right? We want to be in Q2, not Q3. And so what is this going to mean? This means, taking the phone and you do not disturb. Right, from iPhone, make that little mood pop up so nobody can call you. Nobody texts you. Your phone's not buzzing when you get an email. Right? You're just I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't need to be interrupted. You got an Android phone. There's different ones have different settings like that. Or if you don't got that, you can turn it off. You can throw that sucker on silent and put it at the bottom of your backpack so you're not gonna feel it. So that's just bam, just wall off those distractions. Find a good place to do your work. So you can really focus at the library, maybe with headphones in, playing music, playing white noise, whatever it is. Do that. If you like just having a little bit of noise around you, maybe in the union could be good. But make sure you got to be careful because your friends are gonna walk through the union. They won't talk to you. So make sure it's somewhere you might not be disturbed. If it's in your room, awesome, great, you live there, you can do that. So just eliminate distractions. If you're prepping your Bible study, you get all distracted. Maybe try prepping it in the chapel. Maybe try prepping it at your study spot, whatever it is. But do your best to just eliminate distractions so you don't even need to say no to them because you just wall them off to begin with. Got another tip. Got lots of tips for you tonight. Remember, if you got questions about tips, you got questions about anything, you can ask it right on the Google Plus Q&A, or you can tweet it to us with the hashtag #LevelUpQ. We got people checking those out so we can answer your questions. A couple more. Another tip: expect the unexpected, plan for the unplanned. So this is you're walking to class, and then you meet, you see a friend, you got to catch up, and you get talking. And now you're late to class, or oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to lunch and I'm just gonna grab a sandwich and just wolf it down and get right back to work. And then you see your friend, or maybe the line's really long, or maybe they ran out of salami. Who knows? There's something that could happen. So you always gotta put some buffers in. If it takes 10 minutes to walk to class, schedule 20. Because if you see somebody, you've got time to talk. If you see somebody, maybe you'll see somebody trip and lose all their stuff, and you can help pick it up. Because if you're late for class, you're running to class, you don't have time to help others. But if you've given yourself some time, some buffer space, you can help this person. You can ask how they're doing. So plenty of opportunities if you make room for it. So expect the unexpected, plan for the unplanned. Give yourself a little bit of extra time. That's a couple extra minutes when walking somewhere, a couple extra minutes to eat lunch, even maybe a couple extra days to write a paper, an extra day or two to prep your Bible study, an extra half hour afterwards in case people want to hang out, people got questions about Bible study. Always just make it a little bit bigger. And then if it takes only the time it took, no extra, that's some free time. You can move that free time. Great, I've got 15 more. I can get to the library 15 minutes to study. I can get to Mass 20 minutes early. I can pray more. Or, hey, great. I didn't know when I was going to be able to see what everybody's doing on Facebook. I got 10 minutes. I'm going to do 10 minutes right now. So expect the unexpected. It'll make your life way easier and give you buffer to make sure you can do what you want to do. Maybe even get you a little extra free time outside. These next two tips, these are the last two tips. I saved them for the end because they are vitally important. The first one is you got to plan to sleep. If you don't put that in your schedule, it might not happen. And if you, even one less hour of sleep wrecks, it takes your productivity, it takes your focus, it takes everything down so many steps. I know when I was in college, I was getting by on 5 hours of sleep a night. 6 if I was lucky and sleeping in on the weekend. It was horrible. And then once I started sleeping, I didn't know it was going on. I only then I know how tired I was. Because I was finally rested. I finally knew what it was like to actually have energy, to pay attention, to be able to do things. It's all that I could. And so you got to plan to sleep. That's big on the schedule. You got to schedule and sleep. It's super important. You got to get. I'm telling you, this might sound late. You got to get 8 hours a night. You might be able to get by with 7, depending on how you're wired. But if you get 8, oh my goodness, you're great. And so 8 is great. 8 is great. So you really got to plan in your sleeping time when you're going to bed, when you're waking up. You got to make sure it makes sense. And the other thing you really got to make sure that you plan it. This is the other very important tip. You got to plan to pray. It's just like sleeping. It's just like eating. It's just like breathing. If you don't pray, you're not going to make it. If you don't plan to pray, I won't make it into the chapter. I won't open up that Bible for more than a couple minutes. So you got to make sure you have that time to pray. I like doing it at the very beginning of the day. Great start to the day. I really like that. Other people, like praying in the afternoon, like praying at night, thanking God for the day, all those things. Find a time that works for you, but make sure it's in the schedule. It might not be the first thing on the schedule, but it should be the first thing you put into the schedule. First thing you schedule. And so you got to plan to pray. That's vitally important. Another kind of overarching idea, pseudo tip, so it's not going to come up, but just be flexible. You're going to have a schedule, and you're going to have a plan, and you're going to want to do a thing at a certain time, and it's going to work most of the time. But there's going to be times when it just breaks down, and it doesn't happen. And so you got to be flexible. You got to roll with the punches. And so you got to know what to do. This thing came up. I totally forgot about this. I got to do it. So I got to steal this 45 minutes and get it done. All right. Where's that 45 minutes coming from? It's like a budget, right? If you take $50, if something came up, you didn't have any savings to pull from, you got to spend $50. That $50 has to come from somewhere. Maybe it's $50 less to go to restaurants. Maybe it's $50 less for clothing. Maybe it's $10 from entertainment and $40 from somewhere else. I don't know. But it's the same thing with your time. If you got to borrow time from something else, something you didn't plan, just make it work. Be flexible. Move around the boxes on your schedule. And then it'll be great. So again, if you've got questions, you can ask them at Google Plus on the Q&A or tweet them at Level Up. So we got a question here. Cecilia on Twitter says, straight on with the suggestions for not being distracted while doing homework. Any that I can apply to prayer in public? Great question, Cecilia. So I'm guessing, right? So if you're praying in public, so right, not the chapel. So two things, depends on what the thing is, right? If it's a visual distraction, try to eliminate it. So if it's somebody walks in the door, figure out a way so you're not facing the door. If it's just people talking or whatever. I lived in New York City for a year. I was trying, no matter where I prayed, even in a chapel, it was loud. There's always cars honking, people screaming. There was no way really getting away from distractions. So I just went to the drugstore and got a box of earplugs, phone earplugs. They were a couple bucks. I put them in, and it was quiet. I could focus in. So that's really helpful. So that's what I know I have a friend who to keep her focused in on prayer. She pops in the earbuds, listens to some chant. That's great. You can put some earbuds in, listen to white noise, whatever it is. So so if it's a visual, try to get away from it. If it's a audio distraction, try to get away from it. Cover it up, do something with that. If it's just like your mind just takes off while you're praying, then something I like to do, this isn't for everybody, but my mind goes everywhere. It's all over. It's firing every place. And so if I can slow it down, that's really going to be helpful. It helps me focus with God. And so I talk with God, I tell him stuff, but I also write it down. I write him a letter, like even like, dear Jesus, and I just talk to him. I write it out. And that helps me because then my mind is only able to go as fast as my pen. And my hand doesn't move that fast. And so it helps me to slow down and get into the moment. Really be with God. And of course, this is the last thing on this one, just pray. Pray for your prayer. Like I said, my mind's firing all over the place. So every time I go to pray, I ask God. At the very beginning, I pray for the prayer. I say, God, please let this be a good prayer. Help me to stay focused. Right? Be my focus for this time of prayer, this hour, this 20 minutes, whatever it is. Help me to really focus in on you. I can't do anything without you, but I can do everything with you. So I know I can focus with you. Please help me focus. So I think that will help. If you got any more questions, any follow-ups, just tweet them on in. We got another question. It says, I do homework in my room. How do I politely get my friends to leave me alone? That's a great question. So whether it's doing homework in your room, praying in your room, studying in your room, anything. So I don't think, it depends on the situation, so I'm going to try talking to a couple. Right, if it's just like a standard dorm room, like you and a roommate, you got some people over. One way you can do it is just be like, hey guys, I'm trying to study. Can you go to one of your rooms to watch the game, or whatever it is? Just politely ask them, and then after a couple times, you'll be like, oh, it's like 3 p.m. It doesn't have the name on here. It says like Tim's probably studying. We'll go to another room. So after a while, it might build up and kind of just take care of itself. Set that precedent. And but of course, just be polite. Also, right, we can ask them to get out. Maybe, right, your desk in your room is your groove spot, and that's where you want to do all your work. I'd also suggest maybe trying to find another place, right, whether it's a study lounge in your dorm, whether it's a desk at the library, however your campus is set up. There's going to be some spots just for study, just for quiet, focused work. And so even if you've been working in your room for a while, this is kind of your thing, maybe you can just try switching it up once or twice this week, seeing how that goes for you, because it might actually go really well. It might even, right, you've been like cooking here in the room, you might be like, whoa, I'm up here now. I'm on off cylinders. So that'd be my guess. Also, just be really nice and ask them. And, you can talk it over right then. You can even talk it over beforehand. But, hey, I'm planning on studying tomorrow from noon to 3, whatever it is, in the room. You guys could, just hang out somewhere else then. That'd be cool. Or, I know you guys usually come over Thursday nights, but I got this paper I got to work on. And I really love working in the room. Could you guys do something else this week? Something like that. So just being all proactive, doing it beforehand, finding another place, or even if it's in the moment, just being real nice. So we got some other questions coming in. Again, thanks for the questions. Thanks for tuning in. This is great. So it says, why is being lazy a bad thing? Isn't relaxing important? Damn, beautiful question. I love it. So, being lazy is a bad thing. But relaxing is important. I agree with you 100%. There's a difference between lazy and relaxing. Again, relaxing, how to get those things from Q4 and pulling them up into Q2 where they're planned, where you're preparing yourself for the week, the next day, and improving yourself through relaxation is all about just knowing you're going to do it when you're going to do it. So you can watch 2-3 hours. You can watch like a 3-hour movie. That's fine. I do that. But you just got to know you're going to do it. So it's just about planning it well. It's about knowing you're going to do it so it doesn't sneak up on you. So might have been a little unclear in that. So yeah, the difference between being lazy and relaxing. Relaxing is a great thing. But so is a donut. If I eat donuts all day long, I'm not going to be healthy. And so if I just relax all day long, I'm just going to be a sloth. So it's just about finding that balance where you need to be. And some people, like I know myself, if I'm working on something, especially something I really like, I could work practically all day. I get home, eat dinner, and then I'm back clicking stuff, doing what I'm doing. My wife goes nuts. She needs time to just relax, calm down, take a breather. And so do I, but not as much. And so it's just about finding the balance, what the balance is for you. You got any more questions? Here. Fantastic. So it says, how much is a good amount of time to spend doing religious activities per week outside of praying? That's a cool question. Again, kind of like the how much do you need to relax question is going to vary from person to person. But I think that, right, so you're praying, there's an hour a day, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, whatever it is, you got that in, so great. I think it's just what do you want to do, right? So if you want to do Bible study, it's going to be about an hour to lead it, between 30 and 60 minutes to prepare for it. That's 2 hours. You're going to want to probably follow up with people in your Bible study. So that's maybe another, 2 or 3 hours a week, or up to 5. Maybe you've got some weekly event at the Newman Center. That's 2 hours now, or up to 7. And then you really want to pour yourself into something, right? You've been given this great gift of faith, and you've got to give it to somebody else. And so you want to just spend so much time with them. So maybe that's another 2 hours a week. So, right, 9, 10 hours. But remember, some of this time can overlap too. So I don't know if this is what you're talking about with religious activities, but if it's just like spending time with someone, pouring into them, showing them life, then you can study together. Then you're studying and spending time with each other. And remember, you take those brain breaks. You can go get a coffee. You can go chat with each other. You can do all sorts of stuff, whatever you want. And so you get that great time to spend with this person, and you're getting your work done. And so, but other religious stuff, like praying the rosary every day. Maybe you're doing a novena, you're doing whatever to the hours. All of this, there's so much you could fill your whole day. I mean, that's why we got monks, because you can fill a whole day with stuff. But you don't need to. And so again, it's up to yourself. Again, is it interfering with your classes, getting that work done? Is it interfering with being involved with other things you want to do? It's probably more important than hockey club, but hockey club's fun too. So it's just finding that balance. And so that's what I can say about those. We got another question coming in. Keep them coming. I love it. I love the questions. So we got going. Probably got another 5-10 minutes for questions, and then you can keep tweeting them. We're going to be checking this hashtag, for probably a couple days maybe. We'll maybe address some of these through some tweets, through some Facebook posts, stuff like that. So you can keep them coming in. If you didn't get it answered, sorry, but we can, you keep asking. Just ask anyway. Maybe we can get to it. Maybe reply back to you on Twitter or something like that. So feel free to keep doing it, even though we don't have tons of time. It says, with everything going on in college schedule, how do I fit in me time? Oh man, this is huge. That's a great question. To pull in another idea from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that's where the grid thing came from. One of the most effective habits you can have is sharpening the saw. So if you think about it, right, is we pray to get us built up so we can lead Bible studies, so we can mentor other people, whatever it is. I gotta relax, you gotta just take some me time, right? Curl up with a good book, go for a walk, drink hot cocoa, whatever it is that you dig. You need time. Gotta have time. And so that whole idea of sharpening the saw is like, you gotta make sure you put it in your schedule to relax, to take a break, right? Just when we're doing that heavy studying, that brain break that we need a brain break, a spirit break, a body break, whatever break it is, a me break. We need that for life. So that's right, you schedule in. Great. Tuesday's a good day, not that busy. Tuesday night, I'm watching an episode of 24 every week. Or I'm going to play Mario Kart with my buddies on Wednesdays, or whatever it is, right? Or just blank me time. You can just schedule it as me time. But you just got to put it in there. Make it a priority, right? It's just because if you don't, and I think you probably understand by even thinking about asking the question, you don't have me time, you don't have that time to recuperate, to get ready, to be prepared, you can't do anything else. You're not going to study well. You're not going to pray well. You're not going to have good ideas. And so you do have to have it. Just make it a priority. Put it in, right? You got to go to class. I would say you got to pray. And then, heck, make it like the third thing. The third or fourth thing you put in. So by the time you put in all the other pieces, it's in there. Because you wait till the end, it's never going to happen. You schedule everything out. Crap, where'd all the time go? What am I going to do? So you just got to make sure it's one of the big rocks that goes in first. More questions? This is from Allie. It says, does singing or listening to Christian music count as praying? Great question. Well, I think there's this quote. I think it's saying, when you sing, you pray twice, which is totally true, right? This beauty of the music, and the beauty of the words, and the expression in your heart you want to communicate. So yes, it's praying, but I would encourage you to have that sit-down time with Jesus, right? It's like, he's your boyfriend, right? Heck, maybe he's like your husband, right? When you're dating him, you're checking somebody out, you want to spend some time with him. You can't, if you're just like singing songs or like shooting them like music videos and stuff, they're like, I thought of you and I heard this, like that's cool and it's easy to like it. But how are you going to get to know him? How are you going to really develop that relationship? Or if you've got to that point where it's like, Jesus, I want you in my heart. Come into my life. Be the rock that I stand on. All right, that's like your husband. And so, when I got married to my wife, I would have just like not hung out with her, not talked to her every day. Like that would not have gone well. And so it's the same thing with praying. Like God just wants to hang out. So yeah, you can like sing them some songs. Like if I end up in a chapel and I'm alone, sometimes I'll like pull out the hymnal, find a song, I'll sing a song. And so definitely that can count. But I also want to encourage you just have that one-on-one time. Just spend with the God who loves you. The God who created everything and can't wait for you to be with him. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. So yes, sing some songs. Pray to him that way. But also just sit down and see what he has to say. Pop open that Bible. Read it. See what's going on. Other question?
What's a good way to prioritize different things I need to get done?
So the question, what are some ways to prioritize what I need to get done? So there's a couple. You can look at it as when is it due? So deadline, due date, etc. You don't want to do it right before, but of course the thing that's due first you'll probably end up working on first. So that's one way of doing it. One way, at least for when to do it in a day. One thing I've read says do stuff you don't like, schedule stuff you don't really want to do first, so you just get it done. You're not dreading it. You'll actually work through it with some conviction to get to the stuff you like. And then just to kind of try to rate it on some like importance. I don't know if that's really helpful, but like this paper is worth 3/4 of my grade. I spend some time on that. You should not write that the night before. And so you're going to want time for probably a week or two, maybe more, taking notes, marking resources, doing an outline, draft, have somebody look at it, all that stuff. And so, but then if it's like, oh yeah, I've got this thing I like write as like how I feel about the weather today, and it's worth 5 points. Like that one's probably not as important. You still want to do it. You don't want to write it on the way to class. You can probably squeeze it in somewhere else. That's what I'd say. There's probably some better answers out there. I think hopefully that'll work a little bit. Have a follow-up, you can just tweet it. Are there any patron saints of time management? I have no idea. But one of our team members here does. So they did some stuff. So Saint Sebastian is a patron saint of multitaskers, and Saint Joseph is a patron saint of workers, along with being the patron saint of there's like he's got a lot of stuff he's doing. But yeah, so he's the patron of workers. My birthday actually is Saint Joseph the Worker, so I should have known that. So yeah, you can pray to him to keep you diligent, keep you knowing what you're doing, to pray for graces as you put your schedule together. Pray to Saint Sebastian. I don't know why he's patron saint of multitaskers. Because he had a lot of arrows come here? I don't know. I don't know. But, so there you go. St. Sebastian, St. Joseph. And also, apparently, St. Peter, like the Pope guy?
Like the first, yeah.
The St. Peter, apparently, is the patron saint of clock makers.
Might help.
So, hey, ask him to make that clock go a little bit slower. Yeah, so there you go. We got some more coming up. Again, thank you for all the questions. Love this interactivity here. It says I try really hard to plan and still barely have time to breathe. Is this a sign that I'm involved in too many things? If so, what should I do? Well, it might be a sign you're doing too many things. Who knows? I don't know your situation. It could be a sign that you're living in Q4 a lot. You're letting a lot of Q3 interruptions come in, but let's say you're not. You're really on task, you're really diligent, you get stuff done, but still you're just running from place to place. This is definitely an experience of mine. When I was in college, I transferred, I had to catch up. I never took less than 19 credits. It was horrible. And I was involved in stuff, and so that's why I didn't study that much. Anyway, do not be like that, but do what you should. So what do you? Yeah, maybe it could be a sign you're involved in too many things. It could be a sign that you're getting distracted. It could be a sign that there's somewhere to kind of turn up, and so the efficiency or the whatever it is, or maybe I don't know. And so look at your time, see what you're doing. Maybe you're involved in 8 clubs, you're the president of 3 of them, and you're leading 2 Bible studies. Also, maybe you got a lot on your plate, and you just got to figure out what's most important. And maybe you only have room for 2 things. What are the 2 most important things? Maybe it's time for 5. So you think your top 5. And sorry to those other 3, but I can't really be that involved with you so much right now. So that's what I would ask. And then, of course, if you're trying to figure out those things, obviously how it impacts your life, what your real passions are, what you want to do, what you're getting out of it. That's where I would start. All right. So again, you can keep asking questions on Twitter. You can tweet them at FocusEquip, or you can use this hashtag. Last time I checked, nobody else had this hashtag they're using for anything, so it'll be easy to see what you guys are saying, what you guys are asking about this stuff. Probably tweet back at some of you, maybe a link to something that could help you out. So again, just thank you for all these questions. Thanks for joining us tonight. If I could ask one more favor, all of you out there, especially you doing questions, if you emailed them, if you texted them, whatever, or if you tweeted them, whatever, you just send one more tweet and just say how many people you're watching with, right? We just want to know how many people we're helping out tonight. So if it's a group of 5 of you and everything, just say, I'm with 5 people. If it's just you, say, it's me, man, thanks. Whatever you want, but that would really help us, because all we get to see on our end is like X number of viewers. And so we don't really know if we're hitting, 5 people or 500 people. So you just need a little bit of help from you on that. That'd be really great. And you can just tweet those in at FocusEquip. Heck, even shoot them with the hashtag LevelUpQ, so we can find them real easy, and we'll know those are questions. So I want to tell you again, so Level Up, this is a monthly thing. And our next Level Up is Tuesday, November, yes, plan to pray. The next Level Up is Tuesday, November, didn't come up, that's weird. November handle, November 5th. Put it in right there. November 5th. So it's the Tuesday, first Tuesday, just like this one. Tuesday, November 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern, just like tonight. So first Tuesday, 8 p.m. And I mean, we're going to keep a little secret, keep you guessing on what the next topic might be. And so we're going to do a reveal on social media. That's Monday, October 21st. It's in like 2 weeks or so. So you got to follow Focus Equip social media. So Twitter, we're on Twitter, just at Focus Equip, or twitter.com/Focus Equip. Really easy. Same on Facebook, Facebook/Focus Equip. If you're searching for us, Focus and Equip are one word when you type us in the top box of search. So follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and you will get to see the reveal of the top secret, ultra cool, really helpful next level up topic. It's going to be huge. So again, thank you so much for joining us. This was helpful. I hope it was. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Again, this is going to get posted up tomorrow on Focus Equip YouTube. It'll be all over. It'll be on our Twitter a link, on Facebook a link, all this stuff, and so you can share it, you can like it, all that stuff right from there. And so there we go. And you can find that video. You can find resources. You can find that time log. You can find all these things, the corrected quadrants. That'll all be on the Level Up website tomorrow, which is focusequip.org/levelup. So again, on behalf of the Digital Campus team, on behalf of Focus Equip, all of us out here in Colorado, I just want to say thank you so much for coming. Hopefully it was a good thing. And we'd love to hear from you, how you liked it, and have a great night. See ya.
Woo!